So today I want to build a drone. Let's get into this drone build. So the first thing I did was partly build up the S500 frame to get an idea of where I wanted everything to go. I followed the instructions and it was good to find out they gave you extra screws. I recommend having a precision screw set for this, as you need a size 2 and size 2.5 hex screwdriver to build up the frame. Once done, you can really admire its beauty. So right here I basically have a mock-up of how the drone is going to look in the end. This is the battery bay. We have an area in front of here to hold our gimbal. Obviously I'm going to want my flight controller here. We're going to have, now this also has an arrow here pointing to the direction of the front. So we're going to have plate here, flight controller, going to have motors, speed controllers. Dismantling and leaving just the bottom plate and legs, I soldered 3.5mm female bullet connectors to the positive and negative contacts indicated on the bottom side of the base power distribution board. I used pliers and clips to hold the plugs in place while I soldered, and used black and red heat shrink tube to wrap the connectors. I had to be careful how I was doing this as to not block any screw holes, and they had to be raised enough to allow the ESC male connectors to plug in easily. I also soldered a male XT60 connector for the battery one time, making sure it was in the right polarity. Next, I added back the arms, screwed in the motors, and temporarily taped up the ESCs to test the connectors. Both the motors and ESCs use the same 3.5mm bullet connectors, making connecting easy. A rule of thumb here is the power always comes from the female connector. I used a multimeter to check for shorts and to make sure everything was connected to the battery port. So this is basically a dampener for the flight controller, and again this is the brains of the operation. So the flight controller go there, which will go onto here, which will go onto here. Now this did come with some rubber foam pads that I'm going to use to just stick this flight controller on here. So I don't have any nails, and I'm going to just try to make sure that this is as center as possible. Basically what I've done so far is I actually connected all electronic speed controllers and motors. I use tie straps to secure the electronic speed controllers at the bottom of each of the arms of the quadcopter. Right, I will configure each motor orientation and stuff later on in the video. I added an XT60 connector on top here. I also have one at the bottom, and I use glue gun to cover up the solder point so nothing accidentally touches that. I have all my electronic speed controller signal lines run to the back of the drone. I have tie straps tying everything together, and I have my Pixhawk mounted on a shock mount. So that's about it so far. So I mean, the drone is looking pretty nice right now, as you can see. It's looking really pretty so far. Now what is left for this drone is for me to obviously add the receiver, right, which will allow me to control it with my radio over there. So it's just receiver. I need to also add a GPS module to the top. I need to mount that somewhere in this drone. I need to add the power module, and I also want to add my video transmission, which will be part with this little camera here. Right, video camera. And I also need to add camera gimbal, telemetry, and the Pixel also requires me to have a button and buzzer. So those two things I need to add, right? So let me stop talking and get into this. So yeah, right now I have the switch right here next to the buzzer. Last but not least, I need to use, now what is important about the GPS module is the arrow on this GPS module has to face the same direction as the Pixhawk arrow, and it also needs to be away from all electronics, at least 10 centimeters, right? So yeah, I'm using one of these towers right here. Now it doesn't really matter exactly where the GPS module goes on a drone. It should just be somewhere away from all the electronics. So I'm trying to keep it away from the back. I really like this location right here. I'm done. It's gonna go down. I'm gonna go back up. It's gonna go here. Eyeball it from the bottom here. Make sure this is pointing forward. And I think I nailed it there on the first try.
First try.
Right. Now I can also adjust this with a little knob on the inside of this device here. So when time to rack up, and this folds back. Now I had a lot of problems deciding between whether I want to have this power module coming from the bottom here, and then have this wire run through all the way to the back, and then end up deciding here what I'm gonna have it on top, and have this go through the center here to the battery bay. And then last but not least, I'm gonna have my receiver. So I'm gonna connect my receiver S-Bus port. Right, still need to figure out where I want to put this. My receiver is actually going into RC in. All these controllers will go to their respective ports when I pull up the software. Yeah, I have the buzzer in, switch in, GPS, compass. I have power. I will be using telemetry later on for when I'm using the ground station as well as the ODS. And then I have power run from the power module to the back here and RC in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load up the software and I'm going to, see how that goes. I first downloaded Mission Planner from the ArduPilot Documents website. Remember, you can find all information here. I opened up the program and connected the PicSock to my PC via the USB micro cable. Windows would typically find the drivers automatically. Once you open up the software, you need to do an update first. I went to the Initial Setup tab and click Install Firmware. Here you can see you can use the ArduPilot for a lot of other projects. This is a quadcopter build, so I'm clicking ArduCopter Quad. It should find the PicSock automatically and upload the firmware. Next, in the top right hand corner, we select the COM port for our device and the speed at 115200 baud, or click Auto if you are not sure. Click Connect and it should connect to your PicSock. Back in Initial Setup, under Mandatory Hardware, we need to go through these to make sure everything is set up fine. First, we make sure the frame type is set to X, then we calibrate our accelerometer following the on-screen instructions telling you how to turn the drone. You should make sure your drone is on a flat surface before clicking Calibrate Level. Next, we need to calibrate the compass. I have two digital compasses, one in the PicSock and the other in the GPS module. Click Start and move the drone around as the bar fills. Make sure the USB cable is long enough and secure before doing this, as you don't want it to get tangled and breaking. Next, we are going to do the radio calibration. Switch on your radio transmitter and click Calibrate and move all the sticks to their maximum position. Click when done. Note that pitch should move opposite to your stick movements. That is, if you push up on your pitch stick, the bar should go down, and if you pull down on your pitch stick, the bar should go up. I'm going to skip servo out and ESC calibration as they are not really crucial. Flight modes are dependent on your transmitter's channel 5 switch. Now, the flight modes are basically special features that you can switch, special flight modes as they say, you can switch between in flight. So here I can switch between stabilize, position hold, and return to landing. But you should have at least stabilize, position hold, and return to launch as an option. This allows you to change your flight mode in mid-flight. Position hold and return to launch can only be used when you have a GPS lock. I recommend 6 satellites or more. You can find more about flight modes on the ArduPilot website. Failsafe is another transmitter-dependent system. Mine is set to return home if the throttle signal drops below 975, which will only happen if my transmitter disconnects from the receiver. The PicSock will also return if the battery goes below 10.6, which is actually pretty high, but I'm playing it safe for now. I will set it to 9.6 later. The last thing is the battery monitor in optional hardware. My flight controller came with a power module which measures voltage and current from the battery. Once my PicSock and radio were configured, I can go into the flight data panel and see all my drone telemetry information. You can see here I have GPS working and it even tells me where I am in the world. Now I could never get lost. When it's time to test the motos, I will adjust the rotation of each moto depending on the arm. Now, according to the website, the Arduino Copter website, which is the same firmware I'm using on the PixHawk, the top right, the forward right is counterclockwise, and it's number 1. Then you have a next counterclockwise, number 2, in the back left. Then forward left, we have number 3, which is clockwise. And then last but not least, we have right back, which is motor number 4, is clockwise. And the reason why you need to have counterclockwise and clockwise motors in a drone is because they aren't really mechanical systems, they're electrical systems. And in order to have basically a yaw, right, which is just basically the drone moving like this, you need to change the speed of the clockwise and anti-clockwise motors to give you a resultant force or a resultant rotational force in either left or right. So that's really why you have to have clockwise and counterclockwise motors, right? And all of these electronic speed controllers which are connected to these motors are run to the back here. And what I did is I just numbered each one on the server port to their respective motors. Oh, I would also like to mention that I'm not actually using the red wire from any of these electronic speed controllers. I actually took them out. So to do this, I'm just raising up this little tab here, and then I'm going to just pull on the wires very carefully for the come out. And I just basically use the heat shrink to cover up the power wire. This will be the middle wire in all of the connectors, right? And that's because I will be powering the PixHawk from the power module, so there's no need to power it from any of the electronic speed controllers. Now would be a really good time to actually ensure that all the motors are spinning in the correct direction. So I'm going to use a little bit of tape. I'm going to make some little flags on all of my motors, just to make sure that they're all spinning in the right direction. So you can see all the motors here are spinning. Now if you want any of your ESPs to spin in the opposite direction, all you need to do is on these 3 wires here, just switch any pair. So here I have yellow and red. If I wanted to spin the opposite direction, I just need to switch this yellow to this. I need to switch red to this blue wire, and I need to switch yellow to this red wire, right? As simple as that, and it will start to spin in the opposite direction. So that's a cool thing there. So basically giving this video system a test. I'll plug this in here. Now this is the whole wireless system. There's no cords connecting this display with the camera on this device. Okay, cool. So Arduino CAM ODS version 2. Yes, I have a mini on-screen display system here, and I can just put my hand here. Cool. So that Okay guys, so watching at the inside layer, this is the front of the drone. I have my FPV camera here connected to a on-screen display that will get information from the flight controller, which runs up here. I also have this on-screen display now outputs to my video transmitter, right, which comes out to the side. On this side here, I have my FPV radio telemetry module. This will report the information back to my computer. Any kind of flight data, right? Hopefully in these 2 positions they're not going to affect or interfere with each other. All my electronic speed controllers are run to the back, and my power module is run to the front. Essentially what's going to happen is my flight controller is going to just come on top of here like this, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to set this up, right? I'm going to put my button right in front of here. So just a matter of clicking it, or I may put it at the side. Not really sure. I'll decide that. So that's how we're looking right now. So hey everyone, so this is about basically finished drone. I have a 2-axis gimbal at the bottom here holding SJ cam. I will switch this off for the GoPro when I go to fly. Looking around, so I have my FPV camera in here. I have my on-screen display in the back there. Spin it around. Now this thing is actually pretty heavy. I'll wait in a second with and without the battery. Right, I have my video transmitter here. I have my RC receiver up here. Yeah, the reason why I have them like this is so that when I'm ready, I can pull down the GPS antenna. In the back here, I have RC in. I have all my electronic speed controllers wired up. I have my power management system. I have my battery. I have my battery checker. Coming around this side, I have my radio telemetry and flight controller on top. Bring it back around and oh crap, let me put this back up. I have the gimbal working. Okay, so putting the drone on the scale here, and this drone right now weighs 1.4 kilograms, right? The Mavic Pro 2 Zoom with a battery weighs 882 grams, while with this 5000 milliamp hours battery, this weighs 1822 grams. So before I go on fly, I want to make sure that every single screw on this drone is nice and tight. I want to just make sure and do a system test of everything, make sure everything is working, and everything is screwed down. So. And right here is blades that I will set up when I go on the field. Right, so I'm gonna put blue in front, red in the back, clockwise. This is anti-clockwise. First, you have to put on these little brush washers first. Make sure they're the right size. I'll wash on each blade. Transmitter battery. Big battery. Come back again. Yeah, balance there. So the drone is on. You can see everything operating. I'm going to take up the lens cap. From the controller, I can control the angle of the GoPro. I'm going to have it facing forward right now. So on the screen here, sure how good you're going to be able to see everything. You're going to see how level the drone is and everything, battery voltage, kilometers, and all the data. Right now, I'm actually waiting for those satellites there to reach 12 before I go and arm the drone. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this S500 Pixhawk build. I got a little bit of issues with the flight time. I only got about 6 minutes of flight time. Maybe I need to address that. I have the return home voltage really high. I think it's on 10.8, I think, if I remember correctly. So maybe that's why it auto landed. It did an auto return to launch like 6 minutes into the flight. So that's something I may need to address. With that being said, I think it flew really great. I think this is going to be one of my new favorite drones to fly also here in the field. FPV worked great, gimbal worked great, flight controller worked great, GPS return to launch worked real good than I expected. I mean, I also had 13 satellites. But yeah, so that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, make sure and hit that like button. If you have any comments or feedback or suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this channel, please hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way in helping the channel. And as always, just do it yourself, just be yourself. That's all anybody could ask of you. And see you in the next video. So those birds that attacked me just now there, they did it because there's babies there. So I'm probably going to try to get a little close to see if I get a picture of it. But I try not to disturb them because I don't want to be that guy. Say hi, don't hide.